Very good afternoon to all final year MCOM students. In the today's class, I'll try to uh, train you on the 25 different tips for perfecting your email etiquette. By and large, all 25 points holds good. You can add some points and you can delete some points. It is left to you. Okay. In the age of the internet, you might find yourself clicking reply, typing up a quick response and hitting send button without giving so much as a thought about what you have just written. But experts agrees that your email behavior has the potential to sabotage your the reputation both personally and professionally. Inc.com, I think you heard about all these things. Inc.com got in touch with some of the industry's most seasoned email experts, and they had them, had them with the way, on how to perfect your email etiquette. The first point is the point to be remember, or the tips for perfecting your email etiquette is only discuss public matters. We have all heard the stories about a private email that ended up being passed around to the entire company, and in some cases all over the internet. One of the most important things to consider when it comes to email etiquette is whether the matter you are discussing in a public place or publicly, or something that should be talked about behind the closed doors. So this point you have to remember. The second point to be remember is briefly introduce yourself. When you're writing the first time email, briefly introduce yourself. Do not assume that the person receiving your email knows who you are, or remembers meeting you. If you are uncertain whether the recipient recognizes your email address or name, include a simple reminder of who you are in relation to the person you are reaching out to. A formal and extensive biography of yourself is not at all necessary. So this is the second point. And the third point is, don't email with angry. Emailing with bad news, firing a client or vendor, expressing anger, reprimanding someone, disparaging other people in a emails, particularly if you are saying something less than kind about your boss, or all major no's, no hyphen no apostrophe s, no major no's, because email can seem to so informal. Many people fall into this trap. Always remember that email correspondence lasts, lasts forever. And the fourth one is use exclamation points sparingly. The maximum number of exclamation points in a business email is one. Otherwise, if you put more than one, you risk looking childish and unprofessional. And the fifth one is be careful with the confidential information, particularly the confidential matters. Refrain from discussing confidential information in emails, such as someone's tax information or the particulars of a highly sensitive business deal. Should the email get into the wrong person's hands, you could face definitely a serious, even legal repercussions. So that is why be careful while handling with the confidential information. And the number six one is respond in a timely fashion. The time sense is very, very important. Unless you work in some type of emergency capacity, it is not necessary to be available the instant an email arrives. Depending on the nature of the email and the sender, responding within 24 to 48 hours is acceptable. Okay, then the seventh one is refrain from sending one-liners. For example, thanks, okay, O, OH. Simply saying O, OH or okay. Do not advance the conversation in any way. Is it not? Feel free to put no reply necessary at the top of the email when you don't anticipate a response for an email. Then the eighth one is avoid using shortcuts to real words, emotions, jargons, or slang. All these words, from avoiding using the shortcut to real words, to mention few. Business people, using the shortcuts like instead of typing FOR, YOU, for you. Instead of typing FOR, for you, YOU. Typing numerical number 4 and small letter or capital letter U. That is for you. So all these things you have to avoid. Similarly, to mention the great, GREAT, people have the habit of using capital letter G, small letter R, and numerical number 8. Oh, wrong actually. So try to avoid all these things in a business related email, and it is not acceptable. If you wouldn't put smiley face or emotions or emoticon on your business correspondence, you shouldn't put you should not put it in the email message. So avoid all these things. Then the point number ninth one is keep it clean. Nothing annoys recipients more than when people reply and leave the message messy, for example, an email chain that includes excessive carrots, putting the arrow mark, etc., or pages and pages of email addresses that, and by using this BCC, so you have to you can get rid of carrots by selecting the text or control F to use the find and replace the command to find a caret and replace all of them with nothing. You can get rid of all the email messages just by deleting. So clean it up, then send it. So to put it in the simplest way, avoid the unnecessary matter, unnecessary jargon, unnecessary quotations. So that is why make the things which are required, which are very essential. So by keeping only the essential things, you can know, perfect your email by having this keep it clean, tips. Then I'll come to number 10. Be clear in your subject line. Most important. With inboxes being clogged, CLOGGED, clogged by hundreds of emails a day, it's crucial that your subject lines gets to the point. It should be reasonably simple and descriptive of what you have written about. Expect that any email with a cute, vague, or obscure subject will get trashed. Also, proof your subject line as carefully as you would prove the rest of the email. So don't neglect the subject line also. That is also very important. Don't get mistaken for spam, junk, spam, junk, one and the same. I think in Rediff, when you're using Rediff, we coin the word junk. And in case of Gmail, spam. Don't get mistaken. So that is why avoid subject lines that are in all caps, all lower caps, and those that include URLs and exclamation points, we tend to look like a spam to the recipient. So little we should be little cautious using explanatory in subject and all. Now your subject line must match with the message. Never open an old email, hit reply and send a message that has nothing to do with the previous one. Do not hesitate to change the subject as soon as the thread or content of the email chain changes. And the 13th one is provide a warning when sending large attachments. Sending unannounced large attachments can clog CLOG, can clog the receiver's inbox and cause other important email to bounce. If you're sending something that is over 500 KB, sender should ask, would you mind if I sent you an attachment? When would be the best time for you? Like this. You should use some smart strategies. And the 14th one is no more than two attachments and provide a logical name. Unless it is being specifically requested, refrain from sending a message with more than two attachments. If it is required, if it is essential, if it is asked, then you can put more than two, no problem. Okay. Also give the attached files a logical name so that the recipient knows at a glance the subject and the sender. 15th one is send or copy others only on a need to know basis. Before you click reply all, before you click reply all or put names on the CC. CC is nothing but carbon copy or BCC lines. CC stands for carbon copy. BCC stands for blind carbon copy. When you use the BCC, the receiver will never come to know that the copy has been sent to someone. CC automatically he will come to know. But BCC, only sender will aware that I have sent the copy to him and others will never. Okay, ask yourself if all the recipients need the information in your message. If they don't, why you are sending it? So take time to send your message in the right people. Then the 16, beware of the reply all. Don't click always reply all. Think twice before clicking reply all. Do not hit reply all unless every member on the email chain needs to know. You want to make sure that you are not sending everyone on list your answer whether they needed to know or not. Is it not? Then the 17th one is pick up the phone. You may surprised to know how, in what way phone is relevant, phone is required for the email. So there is a close relationship between the phone and the email, my dear students. So pick up the phone. It is no doubt is related to the tips for the perfecting your email etiquette. How? When a topic has lots of parameters that need to be explained or negotiated and will generate too many questions and confusions at that time, don't handle it via email. Also, email should not be used for the last minute cancellations of meeting. Remember, don't use the email for the last minute cancellation of meeting or last minute of lunches, interviews, and never for devastating the news. If you have an employee or a friend, you need to deliver bad news to a phone call is preferable. If you have an employee or friend, you need to deliver bad news to him or her, use phone call preferably. Or to clarify all your doubts, use your phone. Instead of sending email, use phone. So that is why 17th point has a meaning. Though it is phone, pick up the phone or use the phone when the people have so many, there's so many problems, queries. By sending email, you cannot clarify it, then better use phone. Hope this point is clear. The 18th one is Evaluate the importance of your email. Don't overuse the high priority option. If you overuse this feature, few people will take it seriously. A better solution is to use descriptive subject lines that explain exactly what a message is about. And the 19th point is maintain privacy. If you're sending a message to a group of people and you need to protect the privacy of your list, you should always use BCC. The B stands for blind, so you can maintain the privacy. Additionally, by using BCC, you can protect. Avoid, giving out email address to a third person. Make sure that addresses you willingly hand over the third parties, stay with them, especially when the service they are offering is free, then no problem. Then the 20th, keep it short and get to the point. The long email is a thing of the past. Write shortly, concisely, with lots of white spaces so as to not overwhelm the recipient. Make sure when you look at what you are sending, it doesn't look like a burden to read. Feel free to use bullet points. The person reading your email should not have to dig through the several paragraphs in order to figure out what you are asking. You should state the purpose of the email within the first two sentences. Be clear and be upfront. And be upfront. 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 Well, come to the 21st point. Know your audience. Very, very important. To whom you, with whom you are speaking, to whom you are sending the email, with whom you are communicating. That's very important. Your email getting or your email greeting and sign off should be consistent with the level of respect and formality of the persons you are communicating with. Also, write for the person who will be reading it. If they tend to be very polite and formal, write it in that language only. The same goes for receiver who tends to be more informal and relaxed. Then come to the 22nd, always include a signature. You never want someone to have to look up how to get it, how to get in touch with you. If you are a social media savvy, include all your social media information in your signature as well. Your email signature is a great way to let people know more about you, especially when your email address is does not include your full name or company name. Come to the 23rd point, only use an autoresponder when necessary. An automatic response that says, thank you for your email message. I will respond to you as soon as I can. Is unless, however, one thing this message do great is alert spammers that your email is real and that they can add you to the spam list. Now come to the last but one point. Train your staff if required. How to write email. Communicate them. Train or give some etiquette with regard to email. So without training, development, improvement, improving the efficiency is not at all possible. So train your staff. Business owners should make sure the staff is trained in email communications. Don't assume that they know what they are doing and what is considered professional. Set up email standards that everyone at the company should abide abide by that rule. Then the last point, your email is reflection of you. Your email definitely that reflects your culture, your behavior. So your email is nothing but you only. You is nothing but your email. So your email is reflection of you. Every email you send or detracts from your reputation if your email is scattered, disorganized, and filled with the mistakes. The recipient will be inclined to think of you as scattered, careless, and disorganized business person. Is it not? Other people's opinion matters, and in the professional words, definitely it matters. Their purpose, their perception about you will be critical to your success. So that is why you need to take all the necessary steps to build up your image, to build up your personality through sending the emails. That's very important. So if you can remember these 25 points, so definitely you can reach success in your business. So, well, my dear students, with this I'll conclude. So with this, almost my sessions are over. So my part is over. Okay, next classes onwards only seminar from your side. That is only pending. Okay, thank you. Till then, have a nice time. Thank you very much.